Hare Krishna devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Now I can hear.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So all of you ready? What chapter are we doing?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Bhakti
Hare
Yoga
Krishna.
Mataji.
Well,
What is it? I didn't hear you, Manasvi.
Bhakti Yoga Mataji.
Bhakti yoga we are doing. Okay. And did we finish? Didn't we do yoga yesterday?
no.
We didn't finish till now, Mataji.
We didn't finish. So we'll start off. Hare Krishna devotees. So let's continue the session. And today is the most important declaration, right? One is it's the last chapter of the Bhakti Yoga. And also he is going to tell exactly in which form, we are supposed to worship him. Before that, let's start off with Mangalacharan. Oh, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Khadamaya Dadati Swapadatika He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhanusute Devi Pranamani Haripriye Mancha Kalpada Rupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivatsati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna. So
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So we have been. So let's start off with the first thing. Let's pay our obeisances to Panchatattvas and also our Shishi Radhago. Right? This month, not this, technically March 18th is Gaura Purnima, and it's a very special day. It's appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we saw this chapter 11, how it's connecting to 12. And what was the discussion about? It is discussion about which is great, bhakti or over impersonalism. So we all concluded impersonalism is not great, bhakti is the greatest. One classic example, yesterday when I was taking the session, I had the impersonal Brahma Jyoti as my background, right? So, and what happened when we had that, right? I'm sure that how long you'll be able to observe. Maybe you're listening to me, but then your attention is only to me. You will not want to see the Brahma Jyoti or the light, right? But today, we have Krishna. So whenever my session gets boring or whenever you need a distraction, you can always have a look, right? Because he's so beautiful. Isn't he beautiful? Right? Yes, no, Manasvi, I can see your head shaking.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, thank you, Manasvi. And only Manasvi feels he's beautiful. So is there anybody else who feels he is beautiful? Only except me and...
No, of course he's beautiful.
Because there's so much silence. So if I don't hear, I will think either you're sleeping or it's against. Thank you, Nandita. So, okay, they're not able to unmute. Okay, you're keeping the unmute option. I'll anyway release the unmute option. If it's noisy, you can mute them again, Nandita.
No, it is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
It is very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
Thanks. So now we are
Very beautiful, Mataji.
Yes. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Oh, I see the chat. When there is absolute silence in the class, it's Thank you. Yes.
And how to get this beauty.
Yeah. So this is what we can worship, because to see, right, Krishna has got such beautiful features, such beautiful things which we can really meditate on. So 12.8 and 12, he talks about progressive stages, which means plan A, plan B, maximum everybody, whether it's intelligence department, whether it is IT department, whether you're talking about medicine or engineering, everybody will have a plan A, plan B. And this plan is coming from Krishna. That is why we have, but our sources are limited, that we can have only plan A and B, right? Whereas here Krishna is telling option A, option B, option C, option D, option E. Right? So he's giving so many options. And 12.13 to 12.20, qualities which endear or can make someone go close to Krishna. So 12.1, yes, Manasvi, you can go ahead and chant Hare Krishna. And whoever wants to read can raise your hands and you can take turns. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So we will, one second, not now. I just wanted to show this picture, but we will chant when we go to that area, right? The second session. So this is the Brahma Jyoti light, right? And this is the impersonal, this is the impersonal one, this is the personal form, right? So this is where we started. And we all started seeing all this, and we also spoke about the very beautiful look of Mayapur and any deity for that matter. We also felt that these people have it very difficult because the controlling the whole thing is a self progress, right? They depend on themselves. They believe in themselves. But believing in themselves can make them fall because we are governed by Maya Shakti. Mayi Dakshena Prakriti. What happens? So Maya is also Krishna himself, right? His external energy. So that's definitely more powerful than us, right? So that is where the whole challenge is. Now, what happens is we are seeing here, right? So this stage where progressive ladder, we saw living within Krishna by continuously fixing one's mind and intelligence. So this one we finished. So this is talking about Ananya Bhakti, pure Bhakti, right? So we also saw this process, right? So that is what he says in the Chatur Shloka also, right? So everything, the 4 shlokas which we saw in the 10th chapter is a summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita, where he clearly talks about Samandha, Abhinaya, I'm so sorry, Abhinaya and Prayojan as to how you can reach the destination. That is a category. Who is a completely, unalloyed bhakti. Completely, all the time he's thinking only of Krishna and practicing the regulatory principles of the sadhana bhakti. So he thinks, he executes. It's called Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, where there are 2 things. One is the dormant love is already up and fully bright in the first case, right? That is 12.8. In 12.9, it is not there, but it is in the sleeping stage. It's not in a coma stage. We are slowly trying to wake it up. So typical category is 12.9 is our category. Is love for Krishna there? Yes, it is there. And that is why all of us are there. But are we having the prema bhakti? No. Why? Because many Matajis and Prabhujis also tell, when I see Krishna, in this temple, my eyes are filled with water. I'm in ecstasy. Yes, you are. But we all are in ecstasy only for that moment. Are we in ecstasy 24/7? The moment you think of Krishna, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like 24/7 in ecstasy, right? Constantly they keep thinking of Krishna, but we are unfortunately not in that stage. But it doesn't mean we will not be there. We will also reach there. So we are doing sadhana. And we already saw practice makes someone perfect. And by constant practice, we will come there, right? So we already saw examples. Bruce Lee also, he was practicing so much that he became a world-class fighter. Now 10. Surrender one's work to Krishna. So we want to see this. So the first one we saw is Ananya Bhakti, where we'll have 24/7 exclusively devotees of Gop. So yes, you all give me a couple of examples. Hare Krishna, Ananya Bhakti, because we have to understand this so clearly.
Like Mirabai?
Prahalada.
Like Mirabai?
Prabhu Mirabai, true, but Mirabai is not mentioned anywhere in our...
Ambarish Maharaj.
Prahalad.
Yes, Maharaj.
Prahalad.
Perfect.
Prahalada.
Yes, 24/7 keeps thinking of Krishna, right? Ananya Bhakti. Nothing else, nothing fancies
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, perfect. Madhavendra Puri, Haridas Thakur, right? They are all categories. Now, from today onwards, what I'm thinking is I will start giving one example from Chaitanya Charitamrita, because as a process of honoring Chaitanya, because it's his birthday, right? So we'll celebrate. It's March 18th, so literally 1 month, right? So we will try and see. We'll probably have 3 weeks. So till then, we'll see how we can appreciate or bring him into our lives and perform devotional service by thinking exclusively of Krishna. Pure devotional service, right? Is that so? He says very clearly that's the highest, right? How? Fix the mind, engage in the intelligence, and you will reach me without doubt. So he says this, it's a guarantee. Krishna is giving this guarantee. Nobody can give guarantee. This is the guarantee which Krishna is clearly telling here. The second process is sadhana bhakti, where he says that don't worry, even by practice, right? I know you all are not there, especially he's addressing this to us. I know you all are not there, but then start off with sadhana bhakti, right? Let's start with Mangalacharan. Let's start off with Mangal Aarti in the morning. Start doing japa. Most of you all will be, many of you rather, are in 16 rounds. Even those who are in one round, once you tell Hare Krishna, Mahamantra, sorry, your door to hell is closed. Honestly, are you feeling bad? They will not allow you to enter hell. Is that okay, Manasvi?
No, I'm not feeling bad, Mataji.
Not feeling bad.
I am just listening carefully.
So you started, right, chanting. So that's it. So all those who are chanting, are only going to see the upper planets. So we are going to decide whether Goloka or upper planets is a different story. That is what. So sadhana bhakti we are going to do so that we get into 12.8, where entry for 12.8 is direct into Goloka Vrindavan. And the next one, right? How do we do? Follow regulatory principles. We will currently follow 4, but there are all 64 in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, right? Nectar of Devotion. That's the book. That's the abridged version. Those who have not developed attachment for Krishna, right? We will say, no, we've all developed. Okay, if our development of attachment for Krishna is true, then can we really not worry? No, we'll be worried now, because we are, by nature, we have anxiety, we have worry. Simple only. Can we be without worry? No. Even if the moment we get fever, oh my God, we are worried, right? So we are so attached. It's not for ourselves. It may be like, what will the kids do? What will my family do? Agreed. But that also is attachment, right? We will not go to the state telling anyway Krishna will take care. That we feel theoretically, but not practically. How to achieve that stage of love is only through sadhana, practice. And how to follow regulation of devotional service. For regulation of devotional service, you need a teacher, guru, right? If Manasvi has to get into calculation, right? She can't, no matter how much ever she does, right? She will not be able to get into multiplication table unless someone teaches her what is her logic. The guru in this case could be a teacher, it could be a mother, it could be anyone. But for us, father also can be a guru. But is our father trained in Shastras? Unfortunately, no. If the father is trained, that's a different story. Example for Sukadev, Vyasa himself was such an exalted soul, so he could teach. But for us, no, right? So we have to find a guru from outside our family. So while selecting a guru, we have to make sure that he is perfect and he is coming in the devotional, in the discipline parampara, which we saw, right? Qualification to practice. Anyone can practice. And there is no qualification at all. I should have asked this question to you. So the only thing is laulyam. You should be very greedy to attain Krishna. It's the only qualification. Guarantee of success Krishna is giving. Right? So nobody can second Krishna's word, right? That's the speciality. Now I told you we have to follow, our guru should be in one of the paramparas. So can someone tell me how many paramparas are there and what are they?
4 paramparas.
Paramparas, Mataji.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you, little Mataji. And what are the names?
Brahma Sampradaya,
Brahma Sampradaya, Shri
Kumara
Sampradaya,
Sampradaya.
Rudra Sampradaya, and Kumara Sampradaya.
Hare, amazing. Hare Krishna. So after this, what? Okay, I see the way you're telling, you people are, making me get shocked, pleasant shock, surprise, so I'm not able to take the next question. Okay, then what Sampradaya do we belong to?
Brahma Sampradaya, Mataji.
Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Although I'm just waiting. Yeah, so Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya. Somebody's saying, no, not possible. Sorry, sadhana. Oh my God, how can I get up at 4 o'clock? How can I follow so many regulatory principles? Oh my God, difficult for me to start with not taking coffee or tea. Very, very difficult. Forget it, It's a part of my life. So, what is the next option? Plan C. Krishna is telling, Naish Kama Karma Yoga. Naish means no. Kama means desire, right? Without desire. Without desire, you work. And yoga is coming from the word yuj, which means connecting to Krishna. We have to chant from here. Yes, Manasvi, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Abhyasitya same matkema paramo bhava madethamapi karma kurvan siddhimavapsyasi. Yes.
Jai Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. If you cannot practice the regulation of the Bhakti Yoga, then you just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to a perfect state. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So what does he say? If you work for me, will you reach me? Directly, no. But it's an indirect way, because he says by working for me, which is why this is said in the... He's saying this not now, but he's saying this initially itself, right? Long back, he talks about, when he's talking about bhakti, he very beautifully, in the 4th chapter itself, he says that, there is a conversation, where Krishna says, I am someone where to the level of surrender, I reciprocate them accordingly. Arjuna immediately says, okay, Krishna, if you're going to do that, then why do people surrender to demigods? Oh, for them to get quick results. Oh my God, then Krishna, how will they come to you? He says, no problem, ask them to follow Varnashram, right? When he follows Varnashram, they get purified. He says that, right? Which means Varnashram means doing their duty. And in Krishna consciousness is what is explained there. And there we saw Nishkama, and Nishkama is not end, it's a beginning. Where if you can't practice regulation, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will work. Look at this the person who's actually trying to work by construction of the temple. So a lot of them try and do work related to Krishna. So basically, that's called Nishkama, right? Entire work is also for Krishna. Eventually, the fruits also you give for Krishna. So this is what he says. So by these 3 processes, directly, the progression becomes higher, right? How can I work? Very difficult, right? Because we all have a different commitment. We love Krishna, but we also love Krishna. It's not that we only can love Krishna. So we actually love our family. So we need money. And also we should admit that we love Krishna's wife. Yes or no? Krishna's wife. Who's Krishna's wife? No,
Mataji,
Yeah,
Rukmini.
Lakshmi, Satyabhama,
So thank you so
Lakshmana.
much. While you're right, what I meant is, Lakshmi, right? So the goddess of. So we are very, very much. We're all fond of money. So we want, to get money, right? Which we see the material money. So working for Krishna. So perform devotional service. He says, if one cannot do that, then follow regulatory principles. That also plan C is given, work for me, work for Krishna. How to perform work for Krishna? 11.55, he very clearly says, right? Simple. Anyone remembers 11.55? The 5 ways of reaching Krishna. Mat karma kit mat paramo. Does anyone remember? Mat karma krit mat paramo. Mat sangatyaga. Hey, Manasvi, do you remember?
No, Mataji.
No, you don't remember. Why? So he says 5 ways, right? Mat karma, work. Yes or no? At least you remember me explaining. Work for Krishna, right? Think of him all the time. If you can't do
Yes,
both,
yes, Mataji.
now you remember.
Mat karma kun mat paroma mad bhakta mad varjitah nivairah sarvabhuteshu yasa mameti pandava.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So proud of you. Hare Krishna. Very nice, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu, your name again?
Mataji Siddhartha.
Prabhu.
Siddharth. Okay. Yes, thank you. Love letter, Siddharth Prabhu. Now I remember.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, so nice. So nice. So there's a 5 ways of remembering Krishna. He's saying that, right? He's very clearly, so based on that, you perform work, right? So sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna conscious movement. So you have to be, automatically it will come into your practice, because every day you practice, it will become perfect. Every endeavor needs land, capital, organization, labor, like in any other business. Why are they giving a hint? There are a lot of rich people who may not be able to focus on complete surrender, but they come and hand over land, properties, money, because everything, like any other business, so Krishna conscious, right? So someone can build temple, publication, all this will come under working in Krishna conscious. Someone says, no, I can't do, it's very expensive, we don't have so much money, cook for Krishna. That's also Neshkama Karma Yoga, right? You can come to the temple, cook. Okay, that's also difficult. Sell books, because books are Bhagavatam. It's Krishna's words himself, right? Okay, you can give classes, but classes also you may tell that it's very difficult, I'm not a good speaker, then fine, you can sell book. When you sell books, what happens is you really become down to earth. Why? Because people tend to insult you as much as possible. So when I was selling a book, there was one person asked, what is in it for you? Okay, I told, what, Prabhu? I didn't understand. What do you benefit? The cost of Bhagavad Gita was like $250, right? 250, 300. What do you get? And for me, right, I always have this habit of making more. So I was telling Prabhu, for every book I get a Mercedes Benz. Okay, he didn't even understand. So why I'm saying is, people always try and link, and everybody wants, to see, is there anything for me? Why would someone do? Right? That's the kind of a feeling, right? Why would someone do for free? That mentality, we will come down. So what happens is when you get to meet materialistic people, and this is very, very wild, but there is one devotee where there was a person who spit on his face, right? One Prabhu was selling a book and they spit on his face. I can never forget, that Prabhu, in fact, just took a tissue paper, wiped, and moved on to sell another book. This was not my direct source. It was known through another person. I said, oh my God, somebody would have been upset, or they would have like moved away from that place, or at least relocated or taken a break for one day. So can you imagine what happens is, so these kind of insults, you'll try. I'm not the body, I'm the soul, very difficult, but at least one moment of experience we'll all have. So if you can't sacrifice, something small. So if you try and do, we'll always find a way, right? Even you all are doing it. I keep telling, right? 18 days, try and forward. There are many of them who told, I will do voluntary services, we'll help you, we'll do presentations, any kind of help. They don't get anything. None of us get paid, neither do they, but they are willing to help, right? For example, if you see admins here, Mohandas Prabhu, Nandita Mataji and all, they've been constantly working and they've been sitting in the whole class. I really don't know how they can hear hour after hour, year after year, every session of mine. Nandita Mataji, night I will be sleeping, she will be awake and she'll be sending all your remarks picture. She'll forward. Mohandas Prabhu sits in the morning batch of mine at 6 a.m. He comes for the youth class at 3. Evening he comes. And he'll also come for Bhakti Riksha, which is Tuesday, Thursday. I'll be thinking, oh my God, I never hear my own recording so far. But how they can hear. The point is that involvement to do the admin work is, and I always tell admin job is a thankless job, because how much ever you do, people will say, this is not right. The wrong is always pointed. The right is never appreciated anywhere. But they don't care, right? They constantly do hour after hour, year after year, month after month, and they don't get saliated at all. That is the difference, right? Krishna consciousness gives so much of happiness. So that comes to Neshkama Karma Yoga. So, okay, very difficult, Mataji, very difficult. It's not possible. Krishna, these standards are very high for me. I'm just beginning. You don't understand my problem, Krishna. I have a husband or I have a wife. It's very difficult to get into all this. Very easy for you to tell, but very difficult for me to implement. I have to take care of my children. Krishna is saying, okay, no problem. I understand. I will lower my standard. Krishna is so nice, right? For us and all, we keep increasing our standard, but Krishna keeps lowering his standard. So Manasvi, let's see how much he's coming down. Hare Krishna. Yes, Manasvi.
Yes, Mataji. Athaitadapyashaktosi kartum madhyogamaśhritaha sarva karma phalatya
Hare Krishna Mataji.
tatah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. One second, Prabhu. Manasvi, you have to check your mic. It's going in and out voice. But yeah. Go ahead, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness, then you try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be a self-situated. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So can anyone tell me this picture? If you all want to read, anyone, you all can take turns, no problem. See this picture. Can anyone tell when was this shot or when was this taken? What is this
It's naming ceremony.
When Krishna was born and all.
When
Yes.
Krishna was born, Mataji.
Yeah. So Happy birthday. And what is Nand Maharaj doing? Nand Maharaj is actually giving lot for charity. Yes. So they are giving for charity. So Nand Maharaj used to give, it's not a small number, right? Every time he used to give 1 lakh cows away for charity. He used to select proper Brahmanas and give. That used to be the case. Today, birthday concepts are different, right? Hey, happy birthday. Okay, you got me a gift. Yes, I got you a gift. Wow, thank you. This is the concept. But those days, birthdays are not about celebrating by receiving gift. It's by giving charity. So everything had a reason. Why was the celebration there? Because every time when they give charity, there is credits. And that is what King Nirga used to do. There are specific days for doing charity where the credits multiply. Like on an Ekadasi day, on those kind of days. So his credits were so high. So that's how people, try and add credits. Unlike us, not credit card points or money, they used to add genuine credits. So this is the story. And this is about Krishna in particular. So this reminds me of my daughter's birthday, which just went by February 18th, and everybody's gifts are still there. We have to open, we already opened, but then we have to rearrange. So this is the current trend, right? So that's what happens to us. So we're talking about Sakama Karma Yoga. So what is Sakama Karma Yoga? In this, he says, however, you're unable to work in the conscience, right? Then try and act giving up at least the results of work. Do your own work, but results you give, right? So you do, you go and work, fine. Then give a little bit of it, right? So, okay, you are going to be, let's say, a teacher, no problem. But then give a little bit of your salary, or you come and spend 1 hour teaching. Some portion you can link. Now, let's take complete, because we all can't do 24/7 this, right? Because we have so much responsibility, we have so much work, right? So he says, no problem, we can focus on this. So slowly you can do this. The first 3 are so connected that the bhakti is guaranteed. 1, 2, 3. Automatically, 2 will automatically, by sincere devotion to that level, automatically you will get upgraded to level 1. 3 also is a step towards that. From here, it's a trial, right? Or on that experimental mode. Guarantee is not there, but deliver is there. Perform devotional service, follow regulatory principles, work for Krishna. If you can't do that also, try to give up all the results, right? So reasons why one may be unable to sympathize for Krishna can be social, family, just as I said, we have family, religious consideration, or any other impediments, right? So people will have so many reasons why I cannot relate to you. So these are the things. Social also, sometimes social gathering will tell you're too young for the standard, right? Haven't we heard? You're too young. Yes or no? Or, or rather extreme will tell you, you're too old, yeah, forget it. You just forget, don't get too much into all this, huh? Do only in limit. What is that limit? I don't know. People do not have limit for anything. Has anyone ever told, hey, you're working too much, limit, stay quiet, take rest? Has anytime any spouse has told, or any wife has told husband, hey, my dear husband, you're earning too much, take rest, reduce your earning and take a break? Has any wife told Prabhu in this group, I want to take this consensus? Prabhus are not talking.
Not at all, Mataji.
No,
Any
Prabhu, no.
company has ever said to his employees.
Not told, no, see. But when we do social service, everybody say, hey, too much, huh? Too much you're doing. Take a break, okay? Go slow. Hey, do it in a limit. So who's going to set the limit, right? We're going to ask them, please define the limit. Giving up results of your work, right? That is what he was talking about. Recommendation, sacrifice the accumulated results to some good cause. How that helps, even if you do in a good cause, right? Obviously, you have to do Krishna consciousness. Do it because that will elevate you to that state. Because any good makes you in goodness. So you gradually elevate the state of knowledge, understanding that if you have the heart to help, then automatically you will get telling that just helping someone or doing charity is not just important, but then you have to do charity in the right way to the right person, right time. All this will come in the subsequent chapters, but that thought and that knowledge Krishna will give. But if you don't have that idea itself, okay, then you're okay. I don't want to give everything. This is mine. This is my pen. This is my pencil. This is my spoon. This is my mobile. Okay, my. This is, people go to the next level. This is my washroom. What will happen? Just imagine. So that's where we'll get stuck. Practical examples. Social service, community service.
Corona happens.
Corona is a need. So there, I know you're, this is a joke, but then Corona is very concerning, right? So There are two ways of people who say that, oh, I got corona, I don't want to go and give it to someone. There are also one set of people telling that I myself got corona, what's the big deal? Right? So how do I care? Right? So even among people, you can see what kind of knowledge they are in, tamas or thing. Thankfully, doctors keep telling, even if you have corona, you may have, a higher variant, or you will get infected more, and you will probably can be risky. So thankfully, with that word, many people are worried about themselves. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I was sorry, I will not take time. I was just saying that if this kind of psychology, this kind of
I know, I
mentality
got
is
it.
there, that this is mine, this is mine, this is bathroom, this is that, then ultimately corona will happen.
Corona,
This is
that's
what
true,
is
Prabhu.
like.
That is why we are all having. But forget that, at least is okay. We are all together again in human form. Corona to me is a great blessing for all of us, because at least we are able to connect online. Otherwise, we would have never had the thought of online. But imagine if we are, since we ended with bathroom, just imagine if we are stuck as a worm in the stool. Can you even imagine? Oh my God. Of course, Paramatma will be within us even then. Right? That's a level of sacrifice. One is we are bringing Krishna down to that level. And second is we are also, going down to that level. So we should not give that chance, right? So all these services, whatever sacrifice, what you do, purifies somebody's mind and gradually elevates one to Krishna conscious. So even if somebody is doing some sacrifice, you should not go and tell them, don't do. Let them do any kind of sacrifice, let them do, but gradually you can try and get Krishna conscious in that, right? So, Krishna, 12.12. So what does he say? Very difficult. Oh my God, how can I give fruits of my results? Not possible. That also is difficult for me. Helping is very easy to talk, but it's not possible in action. Hey, charity is not meant for us, okay? Charity is only meant for Tata Birla. You know that? You don't know. Tata Birla only can do charity. When someone told, celebrities, why can't they do charity? You know how much they are earning. They have so much black money, can they do charity? Arey, forget it. So you do charity, No, I don't have so much money. Don't do, no. Do with what you 100 rupee, you can give 100 rupee. Give 10 rupee, give 1 rupee. Right? So there was one person who came and told, Mataji, there was one person, so bad that the person actually gave 10 rupees. I told, very good of him. What, Mataji? Only 10 rupees you're telling, very good. I said, someone who's given 10 rupees must be seriously in a problem or really wants, at least the thought is there. We are not even doing that. So compared to us, he's far better. 10 rupees is what he could afford. But he's at least doing, right? For all we don't know what is his salary, what is his position. At 10 rupees may be a very high percentage for him. What if he's earning 100 rupees and he's given 10 rupees? It's a 10% of his salary. Will we do? I won't do. Maybe I won't. I still may not have a heart to do a 10% of my salary. Right? So this is what I'm telling all of us, I'm saying. So we can't estimate, but doing is a great thought. Right? Manasvi, you can go ahead and chant.
Yes, Mataji. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasad jnanadhyanam vishishyate jnanat karma phalatyagasya gachantiranantaram.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, someone new can read. New one, new two can read.
If you can I read practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. But that knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation to the fruits of action. And by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Sonal Mataji, yes, you can read the next one. So you all can take turns. No problem. Hare Krishna. Okay, now we will come from reverse, right? Karma pala tyaga. We already saw Nesh Kama Karma Yoga. Okay. That's not possible. Then what can we do? Then, there are two more, which is Jnana and Dhyana. So we'll see which is the next in order. So he says, if you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. At least use your brain and you develop knowledge. Why? Better than knowledge is meditation, right? Dhyan. And better than meditation is renunciation of fruits. He's telling this is what it is. So renunciation of fruits is higher, right? Then one level lower is, you do Dhyan. We saw Ashtanga Yoga, right? Dhyan, you go meditate on Krishna. In fact, than that, what you can do is you can possibly go ahead and get into Jnana. So it's just 1 second. So fifth one, right? You start, if you can't do any of this, then engage yourself in at least knowledge cultivation. Jnana, start doing Jnana. Learn how can you read books, refer like what we are doing, right? Currently, we are cultivating knowledge. Why? Because the cultivation of knowledge will tell us why we should think of Krishna. When we see the moon today or any day for that matter, we can think, oh my God, this beauty is Krishna. When you see the sky, the blue is Krishna's complexion, right? When you see mountains, we know these are the bones of Krishna. You try and relate, right? And you also know, okay, Paramatma is there in everybody's heart, right? Otherwise, what happens is the olden days, I think they had this concept of widows being really treated bad. A widow can be anyone. She could be 12-year-old or she could be 90-year-old, but they were all pooled. They used to tonsure the hair. And nowhere in the Vedas, they say women can tonsure their hair. Nowhere. Only men, even women who are not interested in any life also do not tonsure their hair. Only men can tonsure their hair, right? Now, women, they used to tonsure. And they used to deprive her of everything. On top of it, they used to insult her, right? This evening, my mom was telling when she was very young, she had a neighbor who passed away at the age of 28, and his wife was probably early 20s. And it was a community where they had told her, you don't come out for 3 months. Okay, now she is completely dependent on the salary. So obviously she had to go to office, not for her work, but husband's office to sign documents, whatever, claim, the paperwork and all. It used to be more, at least today we have online. So those things were there. And the moment she used to come, they used to tell her, don't come. And, they used to really treat her bad. And everybody used to shut the window or door. Now, isn't Paramatma in her heart? Is it right to treat someone like that? And we keep talking about humanity and all that. Is that right?
No, Mataji, because you are saying it but not implementing it.
Exactly. So has Bhagavad Gita or any Vedas, has it told, hey, if someone becomes a widow or a divorcee or whatever, single or whatever, right? You are supposed to insult the person, keep them in a corner. Anywhere in the Shastras has it written? Any Shastra, show me. As per this Shastra, it says no. So we concord. So that is why it is very important that we develop, this knowledge. Jnana, you have to develop to understand what it is. There is a Paramatma, right? This is there. Better than knowledge is meditation, right? So basically meditation, dhyan, right? We saw Ashtanga Yoga, constantly thinking of Krishna. But even better than that, if we be thinking renunciation, but Krishna himself has said, right? When Arjuna asked twice, Ekam Vada, tell me one thing. And also in the 5th chapter, he very clearly says, yes, both are good, but easier is renunciation. Instead of renunciation, easier is to working in Krishna consciousness. So he says, so better than that renunciation, renunciate the fruits. So what do you mean by renunciate the fruits? It is working in Krishna consciousness. Right? So this is what is 12.12. So we are talking about the various 2 kinds of devotional service. We saw way of regulatory principles, following the regulatory principles, and the way of full attachment to Krishna, right? Complete thing. How do you achieve 100% love? 8th shloka, we saw mind fixed on Krishna completely. You follow regulatory principle, you get upgraded. You can't do that also. You work for Krishna, then you get upgraded. That also I won't do. Okay, no problem. Don't give up the results of your work. Then you get elevated. Possibilities there. 1, 8, 9, 10 is a sure possibility. The route is direct. Here the route is indirect. It's like this is like a straight road. But these roads are not sure, right? We may do, we may not. It's like you're trekking. Whether we'll reach the height or not is not sure, but we are trying. Right? If you can't engage in the work for Krishna, then at least try and do what's called the the Brahma Jnana, knowledge of the soul. Okay, so why is it written Brahma Jnana? When you say Jnana, people will tell, okay, I'm reading a lot of physics book. No. So very clearly they say, right, in Isha Upanishad also, very clearly, Vidyam cha avidyam cha estadvido bhayam saha avidyayam rityum tirtva vidyayam rityum ashnute. Clearly both knowledge is required. Material knowledge is there because only with material knowledge we can connect, but spiritual knowledge is very important. Only then we can go and take, to the next level, right? Because the soul needs Krishna and we have to give Krishna. That's the true elevation. So results of knowledge. Why? What is the point? Because only when you have knowledge, you will know Krishna's position, right? So we used to do that. You know for what it is important to fight. I'm not telling fight in the real sense of fighting outside, but I'm telling fighting within yourself. It's the biggest fight. Is it worth it? Unless I know it is definitely worth. And how will I know it's worth? Only by developing knowledge. knowledge will develop to meditation, right? You're going to get into meditation. So you'll start focusing, you'll be meditating. And then after that, you'll gradually, it will go up to Supreme Personality. So here, yeah. Renunciating fruits is better than meditation is already been confirmed. Why renunciation of fruits is mentioned is better than that we already saw, as I just explained to you. And he says this as the reason which you can see. Although Karma Yoga is the lowest in the ladder, Krishna says it is better than meditation because it is more practical. Right? I just told this. This he explains very clearly in the 5th chapter. And he says because it does not disturb the mind. And there we are telling Neti, I won't see, not possible. The monkey brain will not work for the monkey concept. So if I tell every one of you all, if I'm going to tell you all, okay, when you're drinking water, do not think of, what should I tell you? Do not think of movie. If I'm telling you that when you drink water, you'll definitely think of movie only. Instead, if I tell you, when you're drinking water, think of Krishna. Even if you don't think of Krishna, it's a different story, but at least you will not think of a movie. Yes or no? Correct? I'm drinking water. Right, as I'm sipping and I'm talking now, immediately, okay, Krishna, I'm gone back, flashback to the 7th chapter. Okay, taste of water is Krishna. May not come all the time, but at least, when we keep talking, we develop jnana, we'll be able to relate. Right, slowly we get to that level. So very clearly, Krishna again, mind fix is the topmost. It is very direct and it's highest. The result will talk about relationship with Krishna. Right? So you literally have a relationship with Krishna. You can live with Krishna. And 12.4, develop desire for that. So you practice makes someone perfect and you get into a desire. Okay, I'm going to achieve. 12.10, work for Krishna. I'm going to work for Krishna. We'll come to a stage of devotion service. Yes, you keep doing work, automatically you will fall in love of that devotional service. That will automatically come. And 12.11 and 12, renunciation, cultivation of knowledge and meditation, all are purification process, and it will give you peace and may gradually elevate. As I said, 8, 9 and 10, straight line. Here, it's like a package. It's lower, it's indirect, it will take a lot of time, as Krishna says, for a very, very, very long time. But Krishna is telling, even then, don't give up. Right? He's going on. So for some of these Siddhic power yogis, they have the power, they can go to Swarga Loka. They even have the power to go to Brahma Loka, but they can't go beyond that. They may get stuck in Brahma Jyoti. So for them not to come back to the earth, what they do is they do a lot of tapasya. And as they do tapasya during the death, or what do you call, the end of Brahma's 100 years, these entire lokas, all these siddhis go inside Brahma and they also get, promoted to the land of Krishna, Goloka. It's not direct. They have to do so much, right? So, and we are coming to the last session, which is session C, qualities that endear one to Krishna. Nandita Mataji has been typing attendance. Please go ahead and otherwise her blood pressure will go up. Hare Krishna. Qualities that endears one to Krishna from the highest to the lowest. So we just saw all this. Yeah. So sorry. Yes. Okay, you can read this. You can see my screen. Or Mataji, you wanted to read? No, please go ahead and probably you can read the next one.
Can I read, Mataji?
Sonal Mataji, read for. Can I read? Is said by whom? Sonal Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
You only told Sonal Mataji. Please.
One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Bhagavad Gita 12.13, 12.14. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So very clearly, right? Anasuya way. That means not at all envious. That's what he says. And he brought it up in the 9th chapter itself, right? First 2, he says, you are my friend and my devotee. Here, and in the 9th chapter, he says he spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna because he is non-envious. So we are all following the path of Arjuna, which also means that if we are following the path of Arjuna, then we also should be non-envious, right? If we are going to be envying Krishna or envying anyone for that matter, then how can we follow the path of Arjuna? So he's very clearly telling, but is a kind friend to all living entities. So living entities here, we are talking about living entities, not living human being, right? Living entities. So there was one Mataji who told me, I have a dog, we get them in the house, yes, but but we made him vegetarian. We give only curd rice. Yeah, but why are we, can you even remember or understand that Krishna, okay, what is the vehicle of Krishna? Vishnu, what is the vehicle?
Garuda.
Garuda.
Yeah, so Garuda is a vegetarian or non-vegetarian?
Non-vegetarian.
Non-vegetarian Mataji.
Then why is Krishna sitting on Garuda? Oh my God, it's apacharam. No, he should not sit. Yes or no?
Devotee of the Lord.
He's a pure devotee of the Lord.
Exactly, pure devotee of the Lord. Not only that, Garuda, right? So
The nature of
exactly. Thank you so much. The nature. So because if I give this example tomorrow, I do not want anyone to take this example and misunderstand and tell that Mataji herself told that it's not okay. It's okay to be a non-vegetarian because Krishna does not mind. No. It is for Garuda. This is not applicable for us. We are supposed to be vegetarian because not because of anything. It's basic, right? We have learned killing animal is wrong. So obviously for us, we have been given food because we are not only looking like Krishna, we are also supposed to eat food like Krishna. Patram, Pushpam, Payam, Toyam. So he's given that menu card. So we have to stick to the menu and he is given these are the food. And even scientifically, they say these are the foods which we have to follow. So that is the reason. But why I'm talking is Garuda, the restrictions are different because Garuda is a eagle. Likewise, for a dog, you giving a curd rice is not good for the dog because a dog eats is different. I mean, this was a big dog. So obviously a dog needs something. So either you don't have it, but if you have it, because they very clearly tell the animals which are dependent on you are also to be taken good care of because that becomes your responsibility. What is your animal? Right? Now, I'm not going to argue whether it's a cow or a cat or a dog. I'm not getting into the detail. But the fact is very clearly it says that you have to take any dependent animal has to be taken good care. Right? And if you bring and if you don't give food or something because you want to, let's say you are fasting for Ekadasi. I want the animal also to fast for Ekadasi. I'm not going to give food. Is that the right way of doing? No. Right? Because the particular, and that's why we don't even do that for the child. I am fasting. I have decided my child is 3 months old. I am not going to give food for the child for 1 year. Sorry, 1 day. No, not right. The child may get even dehydrated. So the point is that is why they tell anything is to be done at a particular age and to be stopped at a particular age because that's when we get into a complete growth. So that is very clearly explained. So proprietorship is the first mantra in Ishopanishad. Isha Vashamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tiktena Bunjita Magrita Kashasviddanam. Very clearly, Ishavasha principle is very pure. It talks about I am the proprietor, right? And nothing stops. I'm so pure. I'm the proprietor. He's the only proprietor. And Isha Vashyam Idam. He's the Isha. He's the only supreme proprietor, which directly rings. Can any one of you tell me this particular shloka? Similar shloka is there in Bhagavad Gita. Can anyone tell the number or you can chant the shloka?
Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam.
Correct. No, aham close. Sarvasya. Yeah, I am pervading in everything. Okay, that is close, but there's an exact thing which I am telling you, proprietor.
Bhoktaram Yajna Purusham.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.
Yes, Mataji. Can I chant it?
Yes, baby. Go ahead and chant.
Yes, Mataji. Bhoktaram Seva Lokamahishwaram Suhrutam Seva Bhutanam Snyatva Mam Shantim Richyati. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much. So well you chanted. Hare Krishna. So Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, right? So he very clearly says he's the only proprietor. Now we are telling, why is he talking like that? Have you ever seen any bird having a backpack and trying to take extra rice or extra food and packing and going? Anyone has seen that?
No.
Okay, fine.
No, Mataji.
Possible a bag, it cannot. Okay, fine, forget that. So let's go to a normal dog. Has we ever seen a dog after eating full stomach? Because it has strength. No, bird though is a small bird. It can drag and go and hide it and keep it. No, has you seen any dog or a cat hiding and keeping its food? It will eat and move if it's full. Right? And stray dogs and cats may not even get a next meal, but still they are not worried. They will probably take only what and the stomach fills. We are the only ones, right? We take. So in Chennai, I think there are many places where they put a lot of fridge and tell that food to be, if you're not using the food, you can put not only food, anything. There are in many important places. But what happens there, I will see people when they open and they take, right? They won't take one item, right? They will take 2, 3, 4. Why? Because we're not happy. We are thinking of us, family, which is okay, but we think of us for future, family for future, then future becomes future generations, and that never ends. It goes on and on, right? His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotion of mine is very dear to me. So he says, someone who is free from all that, who does not think himself as a proprietor, very difficult. We were just talking, right? My bathroom, that's a situation for everybody. Who's equal in both happiness and distress. Why? Because he doesn't take extremes. Example is Prahlad, right? He was common. He's very tolerant. Tolerant is being highlighted so many times, right? Starting from 2nd chapter. So tolerant. Anyone tell me a shloka representing tolerance? Keep thinking. I'll finish this one. Always satisfied, self-control, and engaged in devotional service with determination, right? Constantly. Automatically, Krishna will directly Goloka flight we will take. Right, so Krishna. So I'm still remembering tolerant.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Second chapter, Mataji. Sidoshana Sukha Dukkha. That one.
Correct. Do you remember the verse? It's
not complete.
No problem. Thank you so much. It was very nice. Hare
One
Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, Radhika Mataji. It's matra spashtastu kaunteya sidoshi sukha dukkhadah agama payino anityas tamstiga shashvata bharata. Thank you so much, dear. Hare Krishna. So very clearly, so matra, so please tolerate. Krishna keeps telling again and again, tolerate, and is very important for us as devotees, because while we will be angry when people talk against and what we are doing, we feel like telling boss, I am doing such an important thing and you are doing so many useful commenting on me. But the fact is, we need to tolerate because of one thing. One thing is, we are representatives of Krishna consciousness. So what happens is, everybody will see you as a role model. All eyes are on you. Knowingly or unknowingly, everybody is watching you. So your behavior will set a mark, a standard, right? So Krishna says, right, in the 3rd chapter, Yadyat acharati shresas tattat evetan ojuna sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. So you great leaders, people will follow. Now you all have become mini great leaders in your area. Everybody is watching you, right? They're all watching you. So now if there is anybody who is going to do differently, then you will land up. For example, let's say Siddharth Prabhu. Siddharth Prabhu is telling, Ayyo, suppose he tells, they'll be wondering, why is he shouting like this? How can he tell Ayyo? 2 problems, right? But this could be normally, whereas if some person if is in the road, is drunk and uses 100 abusive words, nobody even cares. Nobody even pays attention. But everybody's eyes will be over there, right? Now, immediately, next person. Okay, this Radhika Mataji over here, Saraswati Radhika. What's his Radhika Mataji name only? I'm stuck. I hope that's your first name, right? Okay. So, she's in ISKCON, but look at her. Oh my God, she's not sharing her food only. I'm telling I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and she's carrying a water bottle. Today is different. COVID times, we'll forget about sharing. We will not even go close. That's different. But on a normal day, not at all bothered. So now the standard is not with respect to you as an individual, right? The complete line changes. Now there are 3 doctors here, like Dr. Lakshmi, Dr. Gita, and Dr. Tara Devi. All the 3 Matajis, how they will tell. Earlier they will tell, it doesn't matter. We may not treat you people as a patient. According to us, I come from a doctor's family, so bear with me. I'm taking the liberty. We don't get emotional because we treat everybody like how an engineer operates on a particular equipment. That's the same feeling we will have, But we can't talk like this, right? They will tell, Arey, what are they talking? Because they may not see just as doctor so and so, but they will see as the devotee of Krishna. How can they talk like that, right? So they will expect compassion. So these are the standards which everyone have to set, right? So that is what I wanted to take all sufferings as Krishna's kindness to avoid action, right? He's removing the suffering. And every time we used to feel, at least I used to feel, why Krishna is removing the sins, right? Because he says that please remove the sins, okay? Because only then I will be able to come to you. If I have the sins in my account, I have to come back again on the birth. Advesha, non-envious, we already saw, he's very kind. Santushtaha, satisfied, right? He's happy with whatever he comes, right? Santosham, we hear that word. There's one Santosh also here. Nirmamo. No sense of proprietorship, right? Nir means no. Drida Nischay.
Dhrida Nischay.
Yeah.
This Hare Krishna Mata, this was also there before. Nirmamo Nirhankar.
Yes. Yes. It's there is a shloka expansion only. And tolerance, we have done enough discussion. I'm jumping that. Yata Atma, that is self-control completely, right? Somebody who we already saw, Sukha Dukkha, is always same, irrespective of whatever it is. Mai Arpita Mano Buddhir. So you give your complete mind. Anyone knows that shloka?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
This one, Mataji, 12.13.
Okay, you are reading. Okay, no. 1 second, wait. I'll finish this one. So consider all reactions and the results of one past misdeeds have to be wiped off. Only then we will go directly, right? Takes distress as the Lord's mercy. So what is a devotee here? Devotee sees anything which comes as Lord's mercy. I was walking and I sprained my leg, for example. Oh my God, I have sprained my leg. How bad is what a non-devotee will tell. Whereas a devotee will see very differently. A devotee says, oh my God, I would have probably broken my leg. Otherwise, this is going to be horrible. And I personally have seen this experience of one devotee taking you for a second outside. I'm not going to tell the name because this name came in papers and all that. So this person was directly reporting on to me. Was there and we knew in and out of this person, but more on the official side, not on the personal side. So we suddenly came to know one day that this person, had a very bad experience. He had 2 small children and one 1-year-old, another one 3-year-old. We were all part of the same team, and 1-year-old and 3-year-old died. How? That was even more traumatic, right? The trauma was that the wife actually took a pillow and crushed the child, on the face. Now, this is even more difficult. And why? Because she had a problem. She was schizophrenic and she actually wanted to she was thinking he was dead and she won't be able to manage her life, and she did it. Now, we are not getting into the details. Look at the trauma a person would have gone through. One. Second thing is, after that, this went into a police investigation, right? Because obviously husband, 2 kids, wife was also about to kill herself, but they saved her and all that. So the first thing when the police approached us and they asked for the reports, right? When we asked, he said there were no reports in writing about this. He said there were some medical bills, but shifting to the house. So, this, forget about outsiders having a doubt. We ourselves had a doubt, what's going on. This person was like perfect, everything, character, quality was so good. Later, when we got to know the person, after a few years, we understood the person is very good. And then when I checked, and we have doctors here to vouch that even psychiatrists do not write, because my dad's friend was a doctor. So when I just took an opinion just to have an idea. He said, we don't write, because when you write in the prescription or whatever, schizophrenic, it's very easy to get a divorce. So just for that sake, we don't give it too much in writing. Of course, today, commercial medical hospitals could operate differently, but I'm just telling, the traditional doctors, they don't want to get into that. So they orally tell, they don't even give the name out so well. They try and tell, yes, this is a mental condition where you have to take care. They try and word it differently. So why I'm saying is this kind of a person, would be broken. The person was broken. But when I met recently and spoke, the conversation he said was very different. He said, it's my karma. What had happened has to happen. And he also said that it's okay. Let me have that now at one shot. Because if I have to complicate it, right, and if I postpone it, it's going to take it for my many janmas. That's going to be difficult. It's better I live with it. I have never ever heard someone like that in that situation. For someone else, we'll tell, hey, it's his karma, yeah. It's his karma, yeah. All that we also will tell, right? Because it's somebody else's karma. No. But for me, why I poked my leg? Why should this happen? Right? So this is exactly the way, we think. That's human mentality, right? So everybody thinks, why are you doing this? So this is the kind of human reactions, right? So that, wait, I'll just go back. Hare Krishna. So why I'm saying, so this is how the devotee sees. Any problem they come, they always think Lord is merciful. He has kept something for me in store. A devotee outlook, everything is different. Atmika, right? We are talking about your typical, we saw 3 things, right? Adi Atma, Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva. So Adi Atma, their view changes, right? Adi Bhuta and Adi Deva will probably remain same. Of course, Krishna has the power to change. That's different. So he is not attached, he does not give much of importance to pain, trouble of the body, right? Because he's not interested in the bodily features. He does take care of the body, but it's more linked to Krishna. How can I serve Krishna by keeping the body well? Equipoised in everything, happiness or sad, it's not like us, hey, happiness, oh, mourning, I'll get into a depression, all that, right? So they don't get into those kind of behaviors. So 10.14.8, this is Srimad Bhagavatam, and he says, my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your costless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and full obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Okay, it's your claim. So why I read this is, it clearly says in 10.4.8, Srimad Bhagavatam, that it is a claim, right? The person can claim that he has a right. He says, hey Krishna, I have done everything, and therefore all while I'm suffering, all this misdeeds, you have to, this is what it is. He can claim liberation. Of course, devotees don't claim liberation, that's there, but he's saying it's a rightful claim. So it's there in that credits. So thoughtful process of devotion in a disprove, let's see how the thought goes. What is the thought of the devotee? He thinks that it's Lord's mercy. How is this Lord's mercy? He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far, far greater. All right. Now, my Lord's mercy, I'm not getting all the punishment. I'm new and I'm just getting a small portion. He thinks this person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds. So it's better to suffer than to protest. Instrument of my karma. Here we saw, right? Instrument of Krishna. Here we are talking about instrument of karma. What is the result of thinking that way? He is always calm, quite patient, despite distress. He's not envious, right? He is not at all envious. His mind is never disturbed. He is very, very clear. He becomes eligible for liberation. Now, I'm going to ask you one question. Is there many times we come across people who are horrible, so bad, and they are very comfortable. And we many times feel that we are better than them. And it's true. I'm not telling that we feel. Genuinely maybe better. How many of y'all have felt that, oh my God, this person is so horrible and he's so comfortable. I am so good and I have been so uncomfortable. Tell me honestly, it's just a fun time. So,
Yes, Mataji, we feel.
Huh?
Definitely
Yes,
felt like that.
Yes, it
Definitely,
happens.
we feel it.
Correct. So
Very true. Very true, Mataji.
So why is that coming? The thought is coming because of comparison. Right? Somewhere we won't admit anywhere. It's very common for all of us. So it's not that you are alone, I am alone. The tendency is that we try to compare. One, comparison is one. Second thing is somewhere we feel little envious. This person has got everything. I'm not having it. It's very small. It's a very small fragment which we don't even realize. We don't want to accept envy because it's not that your salwar is better than mine, so I'm envious. No, it's not that. It is just that, I'm going through a problem, so I'm comparing. So that's giving me that little thing. Otherwise, I shouldn't bother. If he's rich or poor, if he's suffering, how do I care? Because if he's rich, he's not going to give me money. If he's poor, I don't really intend harm to him. Right? It's not his quota is. Right? Why I'm saying this is because that thought comes. Right? That thought comes for many of all of us. Different situations. One can be money, one can be about spouse. Right? A spouse is a very common thing. Look at her or look at him. How good? Yes or no? At least you'll tell. For me, I think Tamil typically, I don't know what you tell in English, but Tamil, I've heard this word. For me alone, I got this kind of a person. Oh my God. Yes or no? I think I have all jewels only here. All are very, very happy with their spouse, I think, in this group. All silence.
Yes, Mataji. Really.
Definitely say such things.
In that
We
way,
do.
I'm very lucky.
Correct, right? So all this comes on, right? It's one time. It's not every time. It's not that we brood over it. But suddenly, for all the people on earth, for me, I got it, right? Now we are all elevated, right? We don't tell, it's my karma. We've changed our style, right? Instead of telling, oh my God, why only me? Now we start telling, okay, my karma, so I have to get this. So we have promoted ourselves. Hare Krishna. Yes, Kana, you can go ahead and chant.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Manu Dijati Loko Lokanno Dijati Chayaha Harshamar Sabhayodve Gair Mukto Yes Sachamit Priyaha. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, yes,
Jai Mataji.
yes, Prabhu, please.
He whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anxiety, he who is steady in happiness and distress is very dear to me. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Let me mute, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So he from whom no one is put in a difficulty and who's not disturbed by anxiety is very dear, right? He's very clearly telling. So he is not in any difficulty. He is someone who's very dear. So now let's. Can anyone tell me this picture which is on the over here? What does it represent and what is the story? Does anyone know the story? Does anyone know the story?
Is that Jamila up there, Radhika ma'am?
No, it's not Ajamila.
Somebody laughed because Parvati Devi was sitting on Shiva's lap.
Shiva and Parvati, correct. Shiva.
She was sitting on his lap and someone laughed because of that.
Who's actually keeping the mic totally on muting, I think. Sorry. Okay, so this is the story of Chitraketu, and we all know that they all had flight, right? So this is his flight. Can you see on the top? And he's coming. So he didn't laugh. So basically, he's got this feeling, there are a lot of people here listening to them. Narada Muni, everybody are there, but they are not really worried. They are complete. A lot of them are there. And Shiva is talking to them, and they don't really bother. They kept Parvati and they are talking. Now, Chitraketu, for a second, it's not that he made fun or he didn't laugh, but he just felt, this is a little, weird, right? Having somebody on the lap, or, today it's fine. It's become very common, but those days, that yoga over there, it's like a little bit, right? And he also thought for a second, what will others think? Right? So immediately, Parvati Devi got very angry and she cursed him. She cursed him, telling that he will become a demon. And Lord Shiva was very merciful. He never got angry. He understood because he said he's a very pure devotee. Now, Chitraketu is also, at that time, right, when he came, he was a Gandharva, right? He could have actually, he was a very big devotee. He could have actually asked for a reversal, or he could have, something he could have asked, or he could have prayed Vishnu. But what he told is, he told Ma, I will take your thing. I would definitely go ahead and take it. I will accept this. Okay, please forgive me. But I just want to clarify, I never had any intention of making fun of you, or I didn't find fault in you. The only thing which I wanted to tell you is that I personally wanted to tell that for me, I'm okay, but there are people who may not take it in the right sense, like how we tell, right? So that's the only thing she clarified. And finally, when Shiva spoke about his sincerity, she felt very ashamed. Right? She felt very ashamed, and he never even brought it back. So that's what, anything comes, they are not bothered. Chitraketu was a very big king, but nothing bothered him. Right? So example, Prahlad, who can be in distress, like own father, where will he even go and cry? So this is also one more example of envy. What happened? The father wants to kill his own son. Likewise, Kamsa, his own sister. Mainly father in this case, Prahlad. Why? Because the father wanted to be the king. He did not like his son telling Vishnu. So what if he tells? Right? He's not able to think. He just wants a my factor. I. Right? That shows the quality, right? So this is another quality which, as a devotee, we should get rid of, because this I factor will swallow the person completely, not get affected by others. Because devotee is always engrossed in Krishna conscious, material circumstances cannot move him, not disturbed by anyone, right? Nothing can disturb him. Such a state is obtained by Krishna. That's a specialty. Krishna gives that power. Does not affect others. No one is put into anxiety, difficulty, and dissatisfaction by a devotee because he's kind to everyone. Why is this? I want to chant, all of you switch off the TV. No. The person who wants to chant, we will go take the mala and sit in one corner. Okay, don't disturb me. Okay, you don't get disturbed. No, find a place which is secluded or alone. Somewhere you will find, sometime Krishna will give you, will be able to do. Right? So that's what. So nothing disturbs. So that's specific about him. 12.16. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Anapikshashu chedaksha udasino gatavyathaha seva Sami Priyaha.
Mataji?
Yes,
devotee.
A devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and who does not strive for some result is very dear to me. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Uday Shankar Prabhu, you're chanting, you're speaking for the first time? I don't remember.
I keep every now and then I try to do it, but somehow or the other I won't do.
Okay, no problem. So maybe another 2 more you can do because I don't remember you doing earlier.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
So thank you so much, Prabhu. So anyone knows who this they are? Anyone can guess who they are? I can give a clue. A close friend of Krishna, childhood friend.
Sudama.
Absolutely.
Sudama.
Sudama and his wife, they are absolutely poverty struck, right? And on top of it, wife is also pestering, go take some money from your friend, right? But he's not bothered. He's so pure, right? He goes and sees Krishna. He doesn't even tell that he has a problem, right? He does not strive. He's so good. And Sudama has some childhood story that he used to always give rice grains, right? And one day, he had rice grains which were very old. And he was feeling very bad to give it to Krishna. But of course, they are used to taking old food, right? And Krishna says, I'm hungry. And, he didn't know how to do. And in a few minutes, Krishna slept off. And Balram too, all of them. So Sudama was also feeling hungry. He takes it and goes near the lake. And instead of eating, he puts off. Because why? He feels so bad. He's feeling Krishna and Balram were hungry. And, I can't give this. So I will not also have. Such kind of exalted love. Like, he's like really hungry. At least Krishna and Balram, they'll be able to tolerate, right? So I'm not telling now, he was a small child, right? So imagine at the age of Manasvi, who's here. Can they go to that extent of doing that? That is the level of love Sudama had, right? And for him, getting a meal is like very difficult. On top of it, not having that, because he could not give to Krishna, that kind of exalted devotion is very rare. 12.17, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Yo na hrishyati na dvishti na shoshati na kankshati shubha parityagi bhaktiman yasami priyaha.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
One who neither grasps pleasure or grief, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he says neither gasp, pleasure or grief.
खोलो लेटे करो.
Hare Krishna. Let me mute all. Okay, so what he's telling, right? He's not very excited about good things, nor is he worrying, right? He doesn't have any desire, he doesn't lament. Okay, and he denounces whatever it is, whether it's auspicious or inauspicious. What are we talking about? Akarma, right? Good credits also I don't want, bad also I don't want, right? Give off everything to Krishna. So I was telling you sometime back about King Nirga, who focuses on specific days and does, and his credit became high. But what was he doing? He was doing pious and good activity, but he was building a lot of good credits, right? Ideally, he would have gone to Swarga, but he made one small mistake. I'm sure all of you know this, right? Story. And because of his one small mistake, he got cursed and he lived as a lizard for thousands of years. That is the biggest thing which happens. So it's best to renounce both and leave it to Krishna, right? If somebody is giving you sponsorship, why do you want to take a copy of the invoice bill? Not relevant, no. Somebody is sponsoring your education or your children's education. Why do you want to know what is the cost? Doesn't matter at all, because they are anyway sponsoring and it's a free education. So for you, whether it's this much or that much, don't get too curious. So Krishna will handle it. Unaffected by material emotion, neither rejoices nor grieves over material gain. I'm just 5 minutes, I'll finish. Yeah. So nothing affects him. And what happens in transcendentalists face all kinds of auspicious emotion. They're not bothered at all. They're prepared to accept anything because they feel they will be getting higher. Nothing is an impediment for them in discharge of devotional service. Bhaktiman, he's a devotee, he's a most essential. Bhaktiman is the biggest quality, right? And 12.18 and 19, Hare Krishna. Please read, Prabhu. Uday Prabhu, you can read.
one who is equal to friends and
Hare
enemies.
Krishna Mataji, one who is equal to
Yes.
friends and enemies, who is equiposed in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contamination, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and engaged in devotional service, is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I think 11 canto Srimad Bhagavatam, we're talking about Amrish Maharaj, right? And does anyone know this movie?
Mataji, this is Durvasa Rishi has made a demon to kill Ambarish Maharaj.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the story I'll skip. Instead, I will tell you another story about Durvasa Muni. So you know how exalted and elevated he was. And then still how Krishna really knows to handle people. Next 18 talks about unaffected by material. So we saw Sama Satru, Cha Mitra Cha. Okay, so equal to friends and enemies. Chatru means enemy and Mitra means friend. And this is very stylish but not great, right? Manapa Man Yoha. Equiposed quality. Sangha Vivachita. We already saw in that shloka also, right? Always contaminated. Aniketa does not care for any residents, right? Mauni is absolutely, silent, right? So so basically most essential. This is in Nectar of Instruction. Pacho Vegam, Manasakroda Vegam, Jigva Vegam, Udro Prashta Vegam, Ekam Vedan Vishesa Dhiraha, Sarvam Apiman Prativim Sasishyat. Dhiraha, right? Someone who's a Dhira will control the 6 urges, that of the mind, right? Of the tongue, speaking, his, everything, all things, right? Everything is under control. Next is, his stomach and anything which comes out, even words which come out, and also more than that, his sexual desire. Everything he will have completely control over it. So that's the first rule of Nectar of Instruction, which you will read in the next level. So please mark your attendance perfectly so that you can go smoothly to the next level. Santosha, Sudha Dukada, we already saw Santosh, right? Happiness or distress, he is completely happy. Sthita Mati, right? So fixed, Sthita, always fixed, right? Bhaktiman, who's the highest, right? So that's special. So Krishna qualification is a very good thing, and such a person automatically has a direct route. So we have seen this. So summary of qualities we have already seen. Okay, this is more of Nectar of Instruction, Devotion. So 12.20 is the last slide, and this is the picture of Bilva Mangala Thakur, the story I already told. And Krishna, he accompanies him because he blindfolds himself, and he, for someone who becomes blind in between, is very difficult. So Krishna is there, and when he knows, he leaves him and goes, he tells, like, I know Krishna, you're going to leave me and go, but it's okay, because you can only leave my hand, but you can't leave my hand. That's the level of crazy he gets. So he says, he who follows this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engages himself with faith, make me the supreme goal, is very, very dear to me, right? He's very, very dear. So Krishna says this, dearest of all is the one who makes Krishna as the goal of life. They follows imperishable path. So Krishna says this, makes Krishna as the supreme goal and completely engage themselves, right? So that is what he talks about. So what did we see? We saw impersonalism and personalism. We know personalism is best, and we saw the 6 levels, of which the first 3 levels, which is Bhakti, is the greatest. Ananya Bhakti. If you can't do Ananya Bhakti, we'll do Sadhana Bhakti. Fine. Sadhana also I can't do. I will do Neshkama. Neshkama also I won't do. Okay. These 3 are direct line. If it is not possible, we'll try gradually progress by doing Sakama, so Karma Yoga. So by doing that, I will give away the fruits, and therefore there at least I'll get purified and come up. None of this work, of course, than karma, right? So the ladder starts off, okay, jnana will do. Better than jnana is meditation, dhyana. Even better than that is karma, right? So he is trying to bring all this. And why do we need jnana? So that we will know why we should follow Krishna consciousness. So with this, we are ending not just the 12th chapter, we are going to be ending the second module, which is the most important module, which is Bhakti Yoga. It's the most secret, greatest secret. Bhakti itself has come, and we will move to the 3rd module from next week, where we will be talking about jnana. Full jnana only will come. So please pay attention, get a paper pencil, because next week onwards it will become heavy. Yes, Prabhu, you have any doubts, you can go ahead and ask. Attendance link, yes, she'll be sending again. Until then, Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpa darubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanan pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. All of you one time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Any doubts?
Rama Hare
Hare.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So any doubts? Otherwise, I can tell you the story. Okay, do one thing. I'll tell the story and you can keep typing. Seeking. Yeah, I know. Nice. No, this backdrops be like touching Krishna. So I'm going to tell you a story of Durvasa Muni because we've heard some stories, but I'm assuming this is more to do with Krishna. So what happens is Durvasa Muni had a lot of power. He could even go to Goloka Vrindavan. So one day what happened is he was not exactly in Golaka, a little away. And that time Krishna is there and gopis are there. So he was planning to visit Krishna. So Krishna is telling that, okay, he will be visiting, but he will not come here. He's on the other side of Yamuna. I want all gopis to go ahead and serve him food. You know, because Durvasa Muni will be very hungry, you serve. So each gopi tries the best because it's not that they are fond of Durvasa Muni, but they're very fond of Krishna. So whatever Krishna tells, Dhamal they will do. So Krishna, they do all the cooking and they tell Krishna, we are ready. So Krishna says, no problem. He's not coming here. He's on the other side of Yamuna. You can go, walk and go and give. They're telling, how will we walk, Krishna? It's not possible, right? Because water will. He says, no, I will tell you a truth. Yamuna will not swallow you. You know, when you speak that truth, which I'm going to tell in your ears. If it's a lie, I mean, any lie, you know, Yamuna gets angry and she will swallow. They tell, of course, Krishna, please tell us that, truth. He'll say, I am a brahmachari. You know, he will they will all be like, what? Just go and tell Yamuna that Krishna is the purest brahmachari. They will be like, oh my God, of all the people, you know, somebody who has so many wives, so many gopis, right? So, you know, they get so perplexed, but you know, they are not bothered. For them, Krishna, whatever they say, they will blindly believe. They will go and tell Yamuna, Yamuna, Krishna is the brahmachari, and Krishna only told us to tell. If this is true, give us way. Immediately she will give way. They'll be confused. Okay, my God, what is this going on? And they will go and they'll take all the food and they'll serve Durvasa Muni. So they'll be giving everything, and Durvasa Muni, will eat so much. In all the gopis' food. In fact, they are all waiting that after Durvasa Muni eats, they will also eat. But they'll finish off everything, not even give a little bit. For the gopis, not with an intent. He's like, fully eating, because normally when we go to a guest place also, they'll tell, don't leave anything in the plate, right? Fully, finish off fully. Why? When you finish fully, you'll have the satisfaction, right? Like the person really feels good, like, okay, he's eaten full, right? So he ate full, everything, fully burped also over. So he said, then they say, Are Yamuna is there. So they tell, Prabhu, Yamuna, we have to tell a truth, a very, some nice truth, then only Yamuna will leave. What can we do? Can you tell us some truth about you? He will say, no problem. You just go and tell Durvasa Muni is fasting. They will tell, what? He just ate so much. He is like, and not only fasting, now he is permanently fast. Durva means, somebody who eats grass, right? So literally that's the name. So they are saying, oh my God, at least Krishna, Yamuna, maybe was partial, or maybe, something between them they'll manage, but what can we do? No, this is like, they will not even, because at least we had a disclaimer of Krishna. With Durvasa Muni, what disclaimer we can have with Yamuna? So they go and they say, Durvasa Muni is a permanent faster. Immediately Yamuna opens. They get so confused. Hari, he ate so much and he's burping, and this Yamuna is giving us way. How can we call this? She's so confused. And then they go and they tell Krishna, please clarify, because we can't get answers from anyone. Of course, the gopis won't see anyone. Tell us the truth. What is this happening? We don't understand. Why can a lie be called a truth? He said a lie is not a truth. Both spoke. Sorry, running out of battery. Just 1 second. So both spoke the truth. What is the truth? How can you call this a truth? Yeah, there is no bigger truth than this, right? So who is a brahmachari? Right? A brahmachari. What does he say? He says that someone who is not craving for something is important. So the intent is more important. So Krishna was never for a girl, for a woman. He never had that interest, but he always wanted to satisfy the wish of the person. So he did. Rukmini he kidnapped because he wanted to give her the happiness. all the gopis, they enjoyed dancing with Krishna. So he gave them the happiness. In the process, he enjoyed. So he is he's like a pure, brahmachari. And Durvasa Muni, he's a person who is not food. He never takes food, but he took because he wanted to satisfy the gopis. That is an exalted position. So he actually is a permanent faster. That is also true. So he says, it is not about giving up something. It is about not liking. So many times we say addiction. 4 regulatory principles only we talk about, right? We talk about what are the 4 regulatory principles which we follow in ISKCON?
No intoxication, no illicit sex, no meat eating, and
No gambling.
No gambling.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry.
So when we are talking about intoxication, we only talk about tea, coffee and all this, true. But actually, if you see, we are all intoxicated by one more mobile, right? Yes or no? If there is a mobile, we cannot resist seeing it. That is our level of craze and that's our level of commitment we have towards things. So all this, so anything beyond a particular limit is also intoxication. So all that will be there in the 64 level, right? And a little bit in Nectar of Instructions also. So why I'm saying this is a beautiful story. So that's what Krishna is telling. So we have to have a lot of control over our senses. And that person is what is called a Dhira. And such a Durvasa Muni story, now you can relate to Amrish Muni, but he's a devotee. Krishna does just not spare even such an exalted person who has so much power, who still likes Krishna. He says, yes, agreed, but a devotee is always above, because I will do anything for the devotee. I'm mad of devotee. We saw what all he did. He was a driver, charioteer, he was a watchman, right? More and more he is done, but I'm just giving you samples of them, right? So with this, the session is over. If you all have doubts, you all can ask. Otherwise, we will go ahead. Until then, I'm going to read appreciation. Seeking, okay, thank you, and excellent session. Hare Krishna by Akshay. Siddharth Prabhu, seeking for the backdrop. Yeah, beautiful picture. Thank you. Sunil Kumar Nair Prabhu, thank you, Mataji, for the wonderful session. Wonderful examples. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Sunil Kumar Prabhu. Rajanesh Prabhu, Mataji, if I do the donation and charity to a person or an organization with a good intent, but the money is used for impious activities, will it create bad karma for me? Prabhu, actually, I'll answer. So your question is absolutely perfect. So to answer the question too, your intent is good, but you have to see, you can't, we are going to come to this in shortly. In the 3rd module, we are going to discuss this. So you wait till then, but I'll just give you a short note. So if you're going to give it to someone in charity, and if they do, yes, unfortunately, we will get bad karma. That is why we have to see whom we are doing and donate one. So the better option is to go and give it to Krishna, take it from Krishna and do Krishna Arpanam. It's as if you're doing it through Krishna. So when you do anything called akarma through Krishna, then you don't get credits. Yes, but you don't get bad credits also. That's a safe bet. End of the day, you will anyway get purified, right? You won't get credits, but it's going to Krishna's account, but you don't get actual credits in terms of the credit points. But Krishna is going to give you a larger space credits in terms of, your reward points in Goloka. Right? So we can always give all this. So the moment it goes to Krishna, you don't take impious or pious. Hare Krishna. Nandita Mataji, thank you for another interactive session full of learning. Mataji, is stock market trading is gambling? Prabhu, I'm into finance. If you want me to tell the answer straight, if you're investing in a stock, it is not gambling. Trading is, I don't know if you're talking about punting, intraday trading, buying and selling. If you ask me if buying and selling, the answer is yes. Because if you do anything where your adrenaline pumps up, then it will come under gambling. Any quick short money comes under gambling. So stock market, buying and selling constantly pumps, and your thought will always be in stock market. I've been in finance for very long, but I've never done intraday trading, not from spiritual point of view, even for tension point of view. It's not worth it. And even people who are in the ethical businesses do not get into trading. I'm not even talking spiritual, I'm just talking ethical. Hare Krishna. Srilata, thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Ma. Rishmi, nice session, Mataji. Thank you, Rishmi. Meena Pradeep, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shri Hari Priya to everyone. Beautifully explained, Mataji. You're superb. Thank you so much. And very good storyteller. Hari Kripa, Hari Bol. Yes, Hari Kripa, Hari Bol. I started with story, right? In Tamil, I was telling with Daneshwari ma'am. Then she was telling, you tell some story, and I started. That's how my storytelling started. So I thought I'll make it a point to continue telling at least one story. Hare Krishna. Mohandas Prabhu, very nice session, Mataji. Thank you so much. Smriti Shruti, you are blessed. You are a blessing to us, Mataji. Actually, you all are also blessing. So nice. Hare Krishna. Arun Prabhu, thanks for the wonderful session. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Yes, Sunil Kumar Prabhuji. Yes, intraday. Intraday is done very much. Buying and selling, na? Intraday. Chitra Ramsamy Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for yet another session. My humble pranams to you. Hare Krishna, pranams to you too. Siddharth Prabhu, mutual fund. No. Mutual fund is an investment. He's not talking about that. He's talking about buying and selling. The concept of buying and selling, making quick money. We call it punting in the local language. Neeraja Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji, getting more inspiration from your lectures. Hare Krishna, thank you so much. In fact, I should thank all of you because these are really getting all of us close together. Manasvi, thank you so much. Very amazing and energetic class. 12th chapter is my favorite chapter in Bhagavad Gita and you explained so well. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so happy it's your favorite chapter. And Manasvi, thank you so much for beautifully chanting Hare Krishna. Narmada Jalapa. Okay, I don't want this session to end. Okay, I just stopped. This is what is half reading, right? I don't want the session. What is she saying? To end. Yes, don't worry, but I'm going to be there next week again. Thoroughly enjoyed the interactive session. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Excellent, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Mataji, thank you for an interesting class. Love the flowcharts, Mataji. Okay, all credits and glories goes to whoever has created the flowcharts. Hare Krishna. Nijaja Mataji, why people keep on ringing bells for such long time in their homes? Is there any significance? You mean calling bell or you mean the God bell? Hare Krishna. Uday Shankar Ramachandri, excellent session, Mataji. Thank you so much.
God, it is God bell, Mataji, puja.
1 second, Prabhu Haribol, Mohandas Prabhu, thank you so much. Today is your last day. Level 3. Very good. Hare Krishna.
The major milestone now.
Congratulations for promotion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Siddharth Das to everyone. Great session. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Manas. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, God bell. See, normally the God, see everything, not only God bell, it's for your focus, right? When you ring the chadari or the bell, there are two things, Bhagavad Gita and Panchatattva, right? Bhagavad Gita is what we majorly follow, right? So like, for example, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Japa, everything, that's one package together. That is why, and there is no restriction for that. We can do any time of the day, no time, no place, no circumstance, which means even if there's, we can do that. So that is Bhagavad Gita. But there is this, the Narada's Panchatattva Vidhi, which means that Pancharashtra Vidhi has restriction. This time you should do, this puja only you should do. You should give these kind of things you have to follow. In that Vidhi, you know, they ring the bell. Now, whether you do for a short puja, long puja, I'm not getting into the detail, but most of this are all linked to the fact of focusing on Krishna or focusing on the God. And also when you don't listen scientifically, also other sounds, right? Otherwise, there'll be a TV in the hall or something else, and you can't, your mind automatically goes because our senses are very weak. So that is where is the link. And also the sound vibrations are very important. What is great about Hare Krishna is because it is coming from a spiritual mouth only, and only spiritual, it's coming from a, material mouth only, because our gross body is talking. It is also getting into our material ears only. But what is happening from mouth to ears when you hear, that has a spiritual transformation. So it becomes spiritual and goes. That is why you get peace, happiness, and that's why it starts working. Just imagine our Holy Grace, Namnishta Prabhu's Guru, right? We wanted to get aspiration filled from him, and he was so sick, and he is recovered, right? He was constantly chanting even when he was sick. So it has power. So same way, all of them have that power, the bell and all that sound vibrations. Hare Krishna, Pradima, right? Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice session, very informative.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi. Hare Krishna. Thank you for yet another wonderful session. Thank you so much, Mataji. Preeti, thank you, Mataji, for a wonderful session. Hare Krishna. I think there are no doubts. Hare Krishna. And 13th chapter, we'll start next week, right? So we will talk.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Kshetrana, all technical terms with the paper and pencil, you can make it out. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, any doubt or we'll end the session?
Mataji, there was a query actually. We discussed in the class also, you mentioned about it. There is a, in the purport also, where in chapter 8, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that one who is in Krishna consciousness and one who is elevated to higher and higher planets. At the time of the of this material world, he is getting liberated from this material world, and he is getting a place in the spiritual world. This you mentioned even today also, Mataji. I didn't get what exactly does this mean, please? Could
Even
you
I
please
didn't get your
explain
question,
this?
Prabhu. I didn't get your question. What happened? Gets liberated from material world, enters spiritual world. That I heard. But what context you're telling, I'm not able to follow.
Mataji, a soul which is who is in Krishna consciousness, he is getting slowly and slowly elevated to higher and higher planets.
No. I never said he's slowly getting elevated to higher planets. I'm saying by doing the good thing. For example, not Krishna consciousness. I'm talking about people here in this context, in this chapter. What's given is when you do charity, it is okay to do charity because that will make the person pure, right? The heart is. Why would someone want to do charity, right? So that will anyway elevate him. Highest credits, he will go to heaven. Krishna, because when you go to heaven, also you will come back. We saw that. So when you give it to Krishna, karma, then you directly go to Goloka Vrindavan because everything, like now Prabhu had another doubt. The particular money is used for bad credits. You are doing good. See, the bad credits and good credits are not like assets and liabilities. You don't set off. One side your bad credits will get built, one side credits will get built. So for giving charity, your good credits get filled. For the charity being used for a wrong purpose, bad credits get filled, right? So any Prabhu who does charity, he will go to heaven. But now if it's used for a bad purpose, he will go to hell. Now poor man did charity and he's going to hell. We saw King Nirga, right? So it's not, it goes on. But if you do akarma, which means you tell everything is for Krishna, everything is done for the purpose of Krishna, then the problem is not there at all. So both good and bad, we don't take blame. We give everything to Krishna. Krishna will take care. And instead of going to heaven and hell, he will call us over there. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I'll give a reference, sorry, because I didn't understand this topic. That's why I'm asking. In chapter 8, text number 16, if we go through the purport, therein Srila Prabhupada says that those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to eternal spiritual kingdom.
Okay, so
I didn't.
Hare Krishna. So those who are, so this is what I was telling. So those who practice Krishna consciousness, can you repeat that line, Prabhu?
Yeah, those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom.
So, Prabhu, these are referring to people who are already in the higher planets, not us. We are not there. So that's what those who are in higher planets. So which means we are not in higher planets. They are talking about those who are in heaven. Sargaloka, right? We have some lokas, right? Tamaloka. So there are two annihilations which we saw. Brahma's day. During that annihilation, all the planets get removed except the first three. So what happens to them? I just told during the death of Brahma what happens is, and if they are practicing Krishna consciousness, they all will be promoted to Goloka street during the annihilation. They will not go to Vishnu and stomach and they will not come back, which is also what I told. Brahma, after his lifetime, also goes, right? So along with Brahma as a package, they will all go to Goloka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
High level people, I mean higher planets, that means they are already elevated, better than us. That's what I'm saying.
Mataji, that was the confusion, because they are totally they're not fully liberated, but
no,
they're in the higher planets, they get that chance to go into the spirit.
They are having little, like for example, it can be even you or me, Prabhu, where we may not be great devotees, but we do pious activities. We are so good and we want some desire, I want to rule this. So Krishna will appoint you in heaven as Indradev. Those kind of things. Hare Krishna. And once your time is over, he will say, okay, good. But he may even take your help. Okay, I want some help. Please do. Please manage the planet. You will say, okay. And after that, he will take you back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
So all done. So can we end the session and we'll connect again?
Yeah, all the volunteers will one day get the Indra Pada definitely.
Can't say, Prabhu. Can't say at all. Just imagine Indra's position is so tough. And I am vouching this because I have been an admin. I've been a volunteer. I don't want to get into admin or volunteership. It's such a thankless job and definitely not Indra's position for sure. Thank you so much. Let me take the view. Nandita Mataji, Mohandas Prabhuji, would you like to complete for Indra's position?
No, I'm happy doing what I am.
Okay.
I'd rather do it here.
Okay. Manasvi Sharma Prabhu, your co-host, and Mohandas Prabhu is silent. Prabhu, you can tell me.
Yeah, you able to hear me, Mataji?
I can hear you now, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Indra
because
position.
it's I would say that it is a very tough thing. We don't know what is in store.
Okay. Right. And Manasvi Sharma Prabhu. Manasvi, sorry. Manasvi. Indra's position.
The king of the Devatas, demigod.
You want to become? Yes or no?
No, Mataji, I don't want to become Indra.
No, don't want to become. Prabhu, you got the answer from here. Right? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Nice, interesting thing. Sure. So thank you so much for the insight. And I also thoroughly enjoyed being with you all. Hare Krishna. And let's catch up again next week. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Can I end the meeting, Radhika, ma'am?
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.